Yes, guys. So we are looking at the second session of percentages. So let's look at the different models. I mean, a lot of you were asking for, sir, we need different models also. So let's start looking at different models from here. So this is an elections based model. Till now, we were looking at change of base kind of concept. Yeah. Can you take a minute and solve this, please? One second, guys. One second, one second, one second. There's some technical issue. Yeah. Perfect. Let's solve this, guys. Take a minute and solve this, please. So yeah, let's look at this gate. So it's an election-based model. Okay, now in elections, 99, in fact, yeah, close to 99% of the questions, you generally get questions where there are only two contestants, A and B. Okay, it is found that 3640 votes were invalid. Okay, the most important point that you need to understand here is, here the word used is lost, or sometimes the word used is also majority. Majority or lost, or it might say that, A won the election. Okay. So it might also say A won the election. Now, in all the three cases, you will always need to remember, since there are only two contestants, so I would always say that it is winner minus loser. Clear? So it's always the number of votes by winner minus the number of votes by loser. Is this point clear with respect to elections? Yeah. So let's see. Let's see this question, guys. Now, this question is a very good question. I mean, a lot of you are asking for different models. So let's see this. So it says in an election that contestant was found that 3640 votes were invalid. Now B polled or B received 24% of valid votes. Now I'm calculating 24% on valid votes. Okay. So I'm changing my strategy here. I would assume that, let's say, I would assume the number of valid votes. Okay. The number of valid votes, I would assume it as 100x. Why? Because I'm calculating 24% on 100x. Okay. Now let's go backwards. I know total votes would be what? Valid plus invalid, right? So my total number of votes would be valid votes plus invalid votes. So you need to keep this thing in mind, that if valid votes are 100x and there are 3640 invalid votes, now this is what you are supposed to calculate. Is this point clear with all of us? I'm going backwards because I'm calculating 24% on valid votes. Okay, so therefore I would say if this is 100x and these votes are going to only two people, A and B, can I say B got 24x? That means A would have got the remaining votes. So the number of votes by A would have been 100x minus 24x. That's going to be how much, guys? 76x. Clear? And I'm clearly told that B lost by 43680 votes. So the margin, the lost or the margin, which means I know that number of votes by A minus the number of votes by B is 43680 votes. So therefore, it's going to be 76x minus 24x is equal to 43680. Now, what is the gap here, guys? So 52x is equal to 43680 will be your gap. Clear? Or the value of x would be equal to 43680 divided by 52. Now, what is this value coming out to be, guys? If you want, you can simplify. Now, 52 can be with 4, right? 4 into 13 is 52. And this is going to be 4 ones are 4, 0, 9, 2, 0. Now, if you want 13s, we can go with 13 also. Clear? 13 eights is 104 and 52, so 840. If the value of x is equal to 840 here. Now, again, I repeat, what is the question asking is the total number of votes, and now the total number of votes are this. That's going to be 100 into 840 becomes 84,000 plus 3640. So that means your answer is going to be 87640. Now, I would like to address the statement of somebody asking in the morning saying that, sir, 100x is a very lengthy method. Now, these are the kind of questions you will expect in the examination, guys. Right? You might not expect the direct questions in the morning. I just built a base to understand percentages. Okay. Now, in terms of word problems, you might get these kind of questions where you will assume 100x and then you will move forward there. Clear, guys? So let's move forward with the next question. Can I move forward? Quick responses. Yeah. Let's look at this, please. Yep. So this is the another model which is called pass marks and fail marks, guys. Always focus in this model. The question will focus on pass marks. Okay. Now this question says a student got 40% of maximum marks and fails by 40 marks, which means now 40% of what? Maximum marks, right? Now, therefore, I would assume let the maximum marks be equal to 100x. Now, this saves a lot of my time. Why? Because one student got 40x and the other student got 60x. Now this guy failed by 40 marks. So can I say that 40x plus 40 is equal to my pass marks? Is this point clear with all of us? 40x plus 40 is nothing but the pass marks. Similarly, the other guy got 60% of maximum marks. That means the other guy got 60x and he got 20 marks more than the pass marks, which means if I subtract 20 from here, I will get my pass marks, right? So therefore, if you look at it this way, both of them are indicating your pass marks. So this becomes your answer. So if you transpose your values, what do you get? You get 60 is equal to 20x, or we get the value of x is equal to 3. Clear? If the value of x is equal to 3, the value of 100x would be nothing but 100 into 3. That's going to be 300 is going to be the value of 100x. Now this point clear with all of us, guys? Now there's one more beautiful method of solving this, guys. Okay. Now the other shortcut method, one second, guys. Somebody is. Yeah. Now the other shortcut method of solving this is, let's see this. Okay. Let's say the total marks are 100x. Now this guy got 40x and this guy got 60x. Okay. Now let's say these are my pass marks. So can I say the gap between these two guys is 40? Because this guy got 40 marks less than the pass marks. Okay. Now I know that this guy got 20 marks more than the pass marks. So the gap between these two is 20. Clear? So now if you observe, I know that this is 40 and this is 20. So let's see this now, okay? So can I say the gap between these two is 60, whereas the gap between these two is 20x. So can I directly solve this as 20x is equal to 60 or the value of x is equal to 3? If the value of x is equal to 3, my job is to get the value of 100x, and therefore my answer is going to be 100 into 3. That's going to be 300. So in short, from now on, what you can also remember as a shortcut is 40%, 60%. So the gap is 20% of total marks. 20% of total marks is the gap between them. Somebody is asking, sir, can you explain how did you get 20 and 40? Yeah, the values are given here, no? 5p5. 1 second, guys. Everybody wants the shortcut method again. Yeah. Suppose this is pass marks here, okay? So understand clearly, guys. Can I say the first student failed? So that the first student will be somewhere here. And the second student passed. And I'm saying the second student will be more than the pass marks. Okay. And I'm assuming total marks is equal to 100x. So first student got 40x and the question says he fails by 40 marks. That means if he scores 40 more marks, he will pass. Second guy got 60x and he got 20 marks more than the pass marks. That means he got 20 marks more than the pass marks. Now is it clear to everyone? So this gap between them is 60 marks and this gap between them is 20x, and therefore the shortcut says 20x is equal to 60. Understand the logic. Don't just by heart the shortcut. Pass marks I got 40 less. From pass marks I got 20 more. So the gap is 60. In terms of percentage, this guy is 40% of total, this guy is 60% of total. So the gap is 20% of total. Okay, guys. So moving forward from here. Yep. Let's solve this question, please. One last question of calculating values. After this, we will move to percentage calculations. How to calculate percentage is what we will move on to. So guys, just somebody has requested to switch off the video. Is it okay if I switch off the video with everyone?
No, sir.
Okay, people are saying no, yeah, I'm sorry. It's okay, it's okay. I'll go with the majority, guys. No issues. So kindly take care of your bandwidth issues, guys. Thank you, 528. My pleasure. Yeah, see, videos definitely help at least so that you feel that at least you're in a class. Yeah, so it says A has some chocolates. He gave 20% of them to B. Now, again, last question on base change, guys. Else you guys will also get bored. Okay. A has some chocolates. He gave 20% of them to B. So I had 100 percentage of A and he gave 20% to B. 20% of A is given to B. Okay. That means how much is left with him? 80 percentage of A is left with him. Okay. Now he gave 50% of the remaining to C. So let's say this is equal to R. So I take this as 100 percentage of R. Or let's say R1. Okay. Now he gave 50% of this to C. That means the left out will be 50 percentage of R1. Let's say this is equal to R2. And I'm again talking about 100 percentage of R2. Okay. And then he gave 30% of the remaining to D, which means from here, he gave 30% of remaining. So finally left out with him is 70% of R2. And as per the question, this is equal to 84. Is this point clear with all of us? As we'll discuss in the morning hours, okay? So I'm doing my calculation here. So my calculation here becomes 70 percentage of R2. What is R2? R2 is 50 percentage of R1. That is 50 percentage of R1. Now what is R1? R1 is nothing but 80 percentage of A. Now this as per the question is equal to 84. Clear? So if you want, we can cancel 1, 2 and 3 zeros from here. So 1, 2 and 3 zeros. This is 7 ones. This is 7 12s. Clear? Let's go with this as, what do we go? This is 4 threes and this is 4 twos. Clear? 2 ones are 2 fives are and 5 ones are 5 ones. So when you cross multiply, you get the value of A is equal to 300. Clear, guys? So moving forward now. Now let's start learning how do we calculate percentage. Okay. Now when we are calculating percentage, we are dealing with three things. So let's solve this slide first and then I explain you what are the three things that we need to remember. Take 1 minute and solve this, guys, please. Yep. Now, how do we calculate percentage here? Okay. Now, percentage calculation, if you observe, just 1 second, guys. Just 1 second, guys. Yeah, percentage calculation, right? Always remember, whenever I have to calculate percentage, it is always a fraction multiplied by 100. Okay. So what am I talking about? A fraction multiplied by 100? I am talking about a numerator by denominator into 100. So calculation of percentage is always something into 100. Okay. Now, what is the numerator? The numerator is the quantity that I am interested in. And the denominator is the area in comparison. Always remember. So calculation of percentage is interest or desired quantity by comparison quantity into 100. And always remember, percentage is a tool of comparison of only two variables. Okay. So therefore, what am I dealing with here is, whenever we have to calculate percentage, as I told you, there are three types of questions that will be asked. First type is question number A and B. And the second type is question number B and C. Let's try to understand how do we calculate. The amount with A is what percentage of that with B. So can I say I am interested in the amount of A? So I'm interested in the amount with A, and amount with A is compared to that with B. So therefore I'm comparing this with B. Clear? And finally, as a percentage, I am multiplying by 100. I repeat, interested by comparison into 100. So the answer for the first one here becomes 125%. Now let's look at the second one, guys. The amount with B is what percentage of that with A? So amount with B, that means I'm interested in the amount with B, and I'm comparing B with A multiplied by 100, and this would give you 4 by 5. No, this will give you 80% as the answer. Clear? So I repeat, model 1. Model 1 says A is what percentage of B, or anything, but the word that will be used here is of. Okay, so whenever I'm talking about A is what percentage of B, now remember, anything that is following of becomes your denominator. So here the value that I sort out is going to be A by B into 100. Clear? So if you observe here, anything that is following off becomes your denominator. Anything that is following off becomes your denominator. Clear, guys? First model, A is what percentage of B kind of model. Clear? Let's move to the next model. The next model is A is what percentage more or less than B. Okay. Now, whenever I have percentage more or percentage less, the simpler logic is anything that is following than becomes your denominator. Because I'm interested in A, this is my desired value or interested value, but I'm comparing that with B. Clear? So therefore, the numerator is always going to be A minus B. And since after than I have B, anything that is following than becomes your denominator. So A minus B by B into 100 becomes our final value. Is this point clear with all of us, guys? Anything that is following than becomes your denominator. This is the second model where the question would ask you A is what percentage more or less than B. Now remember, if A minus B is positive here, then what do I conclude? I'm sure we are good at maths. If A minus B is positive, then I can say that A is more. And if A minus B is negative, then A is less. So if you understand this much, you will be able to calculate 2 out of 3 models in percentages. How to calculate percentage. Okay. So if I simplify this now, A is 500 and B is 400. So A is how much more? So you go 500 minus 400. I get plus 100. Now A is more than whom? A is more than B. Therefore, I'm comparing with B. As a percentage is I'm multiplying by 100. And this gives you 25%. Similarly, B is what percentage less than A? So B is how much less? B is 100 less. B is 100 less than whom? B is 100 less than A multiplied by 100. And that's going to be 20% less. Now, always remember, that both the answers will never be same, because here the denominator is B and here the denominator is A. Anything that follows than becomes your denominator. Am I clear with two models, guys? Let's look at one last model. Before that, let's solve this question, please. Yes, the videos will be available after the class, guys. Sometime after the class, by today evening, this should be available here. But please understand, the Zoom also notes down how many minutes you were in the class. So in case your college has some attendance criteria, you guys will have to take care of it. Yeah, let's say this, guys. In an office, 70% of employees are male. Okay. 40% of employees, which include 6 female employees, got promotion. If there are 35 male employees, okay, so I know that 70% of total are male employees, and as per the question, there are 35 male employees. So if you calculate this, you get the total number of employees. So I would rather write this. The total number of employees are 50, out of which 35 are male, and the female employees are 15. 40% of the employees, which included 6 female, got the promotion. Let's first see this. So the females who got promotion are 6. That means the female, okay, this is fine. Now, 40% of total employees. What is 40% of 50? So 40% of 50 will be 20. So total 20 employees got promotion. Clear? Out of that, there were 6 females. That means how many males got promotion? 14 males got promotion. If 14 males got promotion, the number of males who did not get promotion is 21. Clear? What percent of the male employees got promotion? Which means the question is asking you, what percentage of the male employees? Clear? So denominator will be male employees, total male employees. What percentage is multiplied by 100? Can somebody tell me what will the numerator be? Exactly right. The question is asking you how many male employees got promotion. So the numerator is going to be 14, denominator is going to be 35 multiplied by 100. So this is 7 2s are, this is 7 5s are, 5 1s are, 5 20s. So therefore, your answer is going to be 40% of the male employees got promotion. Am I clear here, guys? Anybody was it out? Please ask. Okay, I have a small thing to clarify. Yep. So let's move to the next question, please. Or if somebody, yeah, let's move to the next question, please. Yeah. Now, this is the third model of percentage calculation. As I told you, there are only three models, right? The third model is percentage change. Clear? So it's either the percentage, let me explain this model, percentage change or percentage increase or percentage decrease. All the three of them mean one and the same. This is the concept that is used in data interpretation. Okay. Now, percentage change means nothing but you will have two values. So it's a final value minus initial value by initial value into 100. Clear, guys? So suppose there were, let's say, 1,000 students in your college last year, let's say 2020. And let's say in 2021, the number of students became 1,200. So I'm asking you find the percentage change in the population. Okay. If I'm asking you percentage change in the population, which means it was 1,000 and it became 1,200. So can I say the population of your college increased by 200? Okay. 200 as compared to 1,000, there was an increase of 200. Clear? Multiplied by 100. Or in short, this is my initial value and this is my final value. So final minus initial by initial into 100. Now always remember, if final minus initial is positive, that means there is a percentage increase. And if final minus initial is negative, that means there is a percentage decrease. This is all you need to know with respect to percentage change. Clear, guys? Can I get the answer quickly, please? Yep, let's see this now. So this question says that the production of rice in India in 2018 was 30,000 metric tons. Okay. So 2018, it was 30,000 metric tons. Now, it increased by 3,000 from 2017 to 2018. So can I say the production in 2017 plus 3,000 equal to the production of 2018? Is this point clear? Which means, can I say production in 2017 was 27,000? Clear? Now, what is the question asking? Find the percentage increase from 17 to 18. Now, please remember 17 becomes my initial value, 18 becomes my final value. Clear? So, which means what am I looking at here? So, if 17 is my initial value and 18 is my final value, so final value minus initial value, I repeat, percentage change is final minus initial by initial into 100. So this is going to be 30 minus 27, that's going to be 3,000 by initial value, that is 27,000 multiplied by 100. So what do we get finally? You get 3 zeros get cancelled, 3 ones are 3 nines are. So eventually you have 100 by 9. 100 by 9 is 11.11 percentage. Any doubts here, guys? Yep, so we'll learn at least 2 more shortcuts and then directly application-based problems. So application of percentage change. Can we solve one more question, please? Yeah, let's solve this, guys. So what does this question talk about? Now this question says if the production of wheat in 2017 was 0.75 times of that of 2018. So can I say the question is saying production of wheat in 2017 is 0.75 of production of 2018. So, which means if I assume production of 2018 as 100x, clear? Can I say production of 2017 will be 75x? Clear? Now the question is asking you what is the percentage increase in the production of wheat from 17 to 18? Okay, which means 2017 is going to be my initial value and 2018 is going to be my final value. So percentage change formula would be final value minus initial value by initial value into 100. Clear? So final minus initial. So there's an increase of 25x upon a base value of 75x multiplied by 100. So x and x gets cancelled, 25 ones and 25 threes. So eventually you get 100 by 3, that is equal to 33.33%. Am I clear, guys? Application of percentage change, which is percentage increase, or it can also be percentage decrease. Okay. Now, this is the shortcut, and this is the thing that you need to always look at it. Okay. Now, multiplying factor. What is multiplying factor? Just listen to me a bit carefully, because this is the last thing that you need to remember. And after this, we'll just go with applications. Okay. So, suppose I tell you that A, or let's say A's marks increase by 20%. Okay. Now, how do we write this? We write this as A plus 20% of what? 20% of A. Clear? Similarly, if you take A as the subject, you get 1 plus 20 by 100. Or when you take the LCM, you get 120 by 100. Clear, guys, at this point? If I say A's marks increase by 20%, this is how we calculate the percentage, the value of A's marks. Right now, this beautiful thing is what we call as multiplying factor. So if you observe, what is multiplying factor? You see it is 100 plus x percentage by 100 or 100 minus x percentage by 100 is multiplying factor. So I repeat, if I'm saying that A's marks increase by 20%, then my multiplying factor will become 120 by 100. If I'm saying A's marks decrease by 20%, then I'm saying my multiplying factor would become 80 by 100. Is this point clear with all of us? Clear, right? So therefore, remember, if you are using a fractional quotient, then we write 1 plus the fractional value. Clear? When I say fractional value means what? Suppose 20%, the fraction equivalent of 20% is 1 by 5. If you're using 1 by 5, then you can use 1 plus 1 by 5 or 1 minus 1 by 5. It will give you the same value, guys. You can check. This will give you 6 by 5, which is nothing but this. And this will give you 4 by 5, which is nothing but this. Right now, how do I use multiplying factor? That's the most important point. So as I mentioned in the slide, your initial value into multiplying factor is equal to final value. Clear? So the initial value is A, and there's a 20% increase. So I write 120% of A becomes the final value of A. Clear, guys? Multiplying factor, quick responses. This is the approach that I use in percentages, guys. So I need not apply percentage change formula. There is a formula to apply percentage change by using multiplying factor. I only keep these two things in my mind, guys. I apply these two things in percentage, then I get my answer. Clear? So therefore, percentage change from multiplying factor will be multiplying factor minus 1 into 100. Just remember the formula. I'll explain you how to apply this. Don't worry. Right? So let's apply this, guys. So let's calculate this, please. Yeah, so after an increase in the marks by 20%, let me explain you the basic method. I'll connect to multiplying factor, okay? Andy scores 72 marks, which means whatever Andy had scored earlier, he increased 20% of his earlier marks. And now Andy scored 72. Okay. So if I take A as my common factor here, this becomes 1 plus 20 by 100 is equal to 72. Or you can take LCM as 100. This becomes 100 plus 20 of A is equal to 72. Clear, guys? So this you can solve and get the answer. Now let's apply the multiplying factor. I know that initial value into multiplying factor is equal to final value. Now what is final value? Final value are the marks after percentage increase. Okay. Now if you observe this question, after an increase of 20%, Andy scored 72. So kindly remember 72 will be his final value. Clear? Now there's a 20% increase. We have discussed multiplying factor would be 100 plus X percentage by 100, or it is 100 minus X percentage by 100. So there's an increase. I use 100 plus X percentage by 100. So therefore, 100 plus 20 would give me 120 percentage of initial value is equal to final value. So 0 and 0 gets cancelled. 12 ones are 12 sixes. So your initial value would directly become 60. This is how you directly apply multiplying factor. So now I would be requesting you to directly use multiplying factor only. Is this point clear with all of us? Perfect. Now let's go and start solving the questions. Let's solve this question, please. Directly application of multiplying factor, and then see what are we given and what are we supposed to calculate. Yep. So we have the population of a town increased by 40% over the previous year. Clear? That means 2018's population is final value and 2017's population is old value. Clear? So therefore, now it became 56. So after the increase, it became 56. 40% increase becomes 140 percentage of initial value is equal to final value. 0, 0 gets cancelled, 14 ones and 14 fours. So therefore, the initial value is equal to 40 billion. Let's solve this, please. Now, this is a perfect question to understand the application of percentage change formula, guys. Let's first try to understand this. The population of a city doubled from 2016 to 2021. So let me assume the population of 2016 is X. So can I say population of 2021 is 2X? Clear, guys? So if this is my initial value and this is my final value, can I say I got final value is equal to 2 into initial value? So which means 2 becomes your multiplying factor. Now remember the formula. Percentage change is multiplying factor. Clear? What is the formula? Multiplying factor minus 1 or 1 minus multiplying factor? Multiplying factor minus 1 into 100. If this is positive, now remember this, if this is positive, that means obviously there's a percentage increase. And if this is negative, that means there is a percentage decrease. So here 2 minus 1 into 100 will give you 100 percentage. And that's a positive value. So therefore the population has increased by 100 percentage. At this point, clear with everyone, guys? Great. Let's move further. Yeah, can we solve this question, please? Think. 40 is not the answer, guys. Yeah, let's say this. If the price of an item is increased by 40%. Now let me assume this here. So let's say the initial value is 100x. Okay. Now this has been increased by 40%, which means now the value is 140x. Clear? But now it says the value is 140x. Now from 140x, we need to bring this back to 100x. That means this becomes your initial value and this becomes your final value. So final minus initial, that means it has to be reduced by 40x as compared to 140x multiplied by 100. So this is 2's and this is 7's. X and X also will get cancelled. And your answer is going to be 200 by 7. That's going to be 28.56%. Any doubts here, guys? Quick responses, please. So I repeat, initial value was 100x. Now this increased by 40%. So nothing to calculate. The new value becomes 140x. Now the question says that I have this value. I have to reduce this value such that I obtain my initial value only. So I have 140x. So from 140x, I have to obtain 100x. So 140 becomes your initial value and 100x becomes your final value. Is this point clear with all of us? Perfect. So moving forward, guys. Can we solve this question, please? Yeah, in an examination, A scored 25% more than B. Okay. Now let's understand A scored 25% more than whom? B. So remember A scored 25% more. When it's a 25% more, so the multiplying factor becomes 125 by 100 of B. Now let's learn a few things here, guys. Clear? The few things to learn here is if I'm writing A is equal to 125 by 100 of B, which means I can comment from B's point, as from A's point of view. Clear? So I can comment two things from here. Again, repeat the word indication is A is 125 by 100. Can I write it as 125%? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Yes. There's a multiplication sign here, 125% of B. First things first. Second, A is, so 125 by 100 is the multiplying factor. From multiplying factor, subtract 1, multiply by 100. That gives you plus 25%. So I can say that A is 25% more than B. Clear, guys? This is what I can speak from A's perspective. But if I have this relationship, let's make B as the subject. If I'm making B as the subject, I get 5 by 4 of A. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Sorry, 4 by 5, right? My bad. Is this point clear with all of us? B is equal to 4 by 5 of A. Now let's see what am I commenting. Can you convert two things, guys? Can you convert 4 by 5 in terms of percentage? Conversion of 4 by 5 in terms of percentage is multiplying by 100. That is equal to 80%. So I might say that B is 80% of A. We can comment on percentage more or less also. So if I have multiplying factor as 4 by 5, you subtract 1 and then multiply by 100, which means you get a minus 20%. So I can say that B is 20%. There's a minus sign, right? Less than A. Is this point very clear with all of us? If A is equal to something is given, I can say A is. If B is equal to something is given, I can say B is. Because see, anything can be asked in this question here. I might ask you B is what percentage less than A? P5, I'm not getting what you're asking, Nana. One second, guys. So I repeat, A is 25% more than B becomes 125 by 100 of B, which means I can write A is equal to 5 by 4 of B. Clear, guys? If A is equal to 5 by 4 of B, I can write B is equal to 4 by 5 of A. Now I can repeat 125 by 100 is nothing but 125%. So I can say that A is 125% of B. Now what is 4 by 5 as a percentage? 4 by 5 as a percentage is multiplying by 100. That is 80%. So I can say that B is 80% of A. Now, 5 by 4, if 5 by 4 is a multiplying factor, what is percentage change? Can you quickly calculate and give me, guys? So multiplying factor minus 1 into 100. This will give you plus 25%. So this indicates A is 25% more than B. So from multiplying factor, you subtract 1 and into 100, which will be minus 20%. So I might say that B is 20% less than A. Now am I clear, guys, with everyone? $523. Yeah. Can we solve this question, please? Let's see this, guys. Simple applications of what you have seen. P salary is 30% less. If 30% less, the multiplying factor becomes 70% of Q. Now the question is saying by what percentage is Q more than P? If I'm asking you from Q's point of view, make Q as the subject. So if I make Q as the subject, we get Q is equal to 10 by 7 of P. So which means 10 by 7 becomes the multiplying factor. Okay. So 10 by 7 minus 1. Instead of 1, you can write 7 by 7 into 100. So eventually what do we get? We get 3 by 7 into 100, which is going to be 42.85%. So I can say that Q is 42.85% more than P. Is this shortcut very clear with all of us? Now let's see, where do we apply that shortcut? Let's learn in this question, please. Yeah, the price of coffee increased by 20%. By what percentage should the consumption be reduced so that the expenditure on it remains the same? Now, I'm talking about expenditure, right? Now, please remember the relationship that we are talking about here is the expenditure is nothing but price into consumption. Let's take a small example, guys. If the price of rice, let's say, is 40 rupees per kilo, and let's say in your household you consume 6 kilos per month, so therefore the expenditure on rice becomes 240 rupees. Is this point clear with all of us? So now this question says that, let me assume the price is equal to X and the consumption is equal to Y. So therefore the expenditure is equal to XY. Clear? So price of coffee increased by 20%, which means my new price becomes 120 by 100x, which is nothing but 6 by 5. Okay. So the new price is 6 by 5 of x. And the question says consumption should remain the same. So can I say if this is 6 by 5, clear? That means the reverse would be 5 by 6 of y, only then this condition will be met. Yeah, expenditure remains the same. No, expenditure is xy, expenditure is xy. Pawan. Clear, guys? So if 5 by 6 is my multiplying factor, I would say 5 by 6 minus 1. Instead of 1, 6 by 6 into 100, which means minus 1 by 6 into 100, which is equal to 16.66% drop. So therefore, the consumption should reduce by 16.66%. Now is it clear, Pawan?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Others? Yep, let's solve the next question, please. So there are two equivalent decreases of 10%, guys. Okay. Two equivalent decrease of 10% would be nothing but, suppose your initial value was 100x. Then there's a 10% drop. So that means I'm talking about 10% of 100, which is going to be 10x, it will be a drop. So the final value remains is 90x. Now there's a second percentage decrease of 10%. That means now I will calculate 10% of 90x. That is going to be 9x, which means your final value becomes 81x. Now what is the question asking you? Find a single percentage change. That means instead of two such changes, I have to check only one change. So can I say overall the value has decreased by 19x as compared to an initial value of 100x multiplied by 100, which will be 19% drop. Does this point clear with all of us? This is my initial value and this is my final value. Instead of two changes, the question is asking you only one change. So final minus initial by initial into 100. Okay. I repeat, guys, if the initial value is equal to 100x, what is 10% of 100, guys? That is 10x, which means the value has now become how much? 90x. Now there will be a second drop of 10% on 90x. What is 10% of 90? 9x. So can I say the final value has become 81x, 4b3 and 5j9? So he's asking you only 1% change, Amma. Is the initial value, is the final value, Amma. So can I say percentage change formula in Amma? final value minus initial value by initial value into 100 kada. So what am I getting here? Final value is 81x, initial value is 100x, by initial value is 100x into 100. So what am I getting? That is equal to 19% drop. Now is it clear? Okay, guys. Now, please stop all the calculations at your end and kindly listen. Now, two percentage changes are also called successive percentage change. Clear? Now, successive percentage change can be done in two cases. When the question says two successive changes or two percentage changes, or when you're multiplying two multiplying factors. Suppose we see this, okay. So initially it was X. So first there is a drop of 10 percentage. So can I say multiplying factor is 90 percentage of X? Does this point clear? Now, this total value is now dropped by 10 percentage. So if this total value is dropped by 10 percentage, can I say again I'm saying 90% of this value? So what is happening here? Your one multiplying factor is used here. Your second multiplying factor is used here. And you are using a term called multiplication. So mathematically, if I'm using two multiplications, so two multiplying factors separated by a multiplication sign, I can use successive percentage change. Is this point clear? Now, in successive percentage change, the overall percentage change is determined by the formula called A plus B plus AB divided by 100. This will be the overall percentage change. So there's a decrease of 10 percentage. There is another decrease of 10 percentage plus a minus 10 into minus 10 by 100. Which means you get a minus 20 and a plus 1, which means you get a minus 19 percentage. That means overall it has to be dropped by 19 percentage. Am I clear? 4B3, there are two minus signs now. Is it clear, guys? Successive percentage change. Sheikh will discuss that, don't worry. Now, Sandeep's salary was first increased by 30% and then decreased by 30%. Clear? So, can I say this is successive percentage change? A change upon change is nothing but a successive percentage change. Any doubts here, guys? So, if you have a doubt, let's see this. If his salary was X, a 30% increase, that means his salary would have been 130 by 100 of X. Now this salary would have is decreased by 30%. So this salary now becomes 70 by 100. Clear? So what am I looking at here? So if I look at it this way, the final salary is 2,73,000. And this becomes your answer. Nothing else. Is this point clear, guys, from all of us? Any doubts? You can go by another method also. The other method is there's an increase of 30%. There's a decrease of 30%. That means minus 30 into plus 30 divided by 100. So if you observe, this gets cancelled. So there is a 9% drop amount. With a 9% decrease, what is the multiplying factor? Multiplying factor becomes 100 minus 9 by 100. Clear? So I would say 91 by 100 into initial salary is equal to the final salary. You can also do this. That is 3 lakhs. Clear, guys? Can I move forward? So learning all the ways of attacking a question. Yep. Can we solve this question, please? Now you should be able to attack this. Is it successive, first of all? Two ways in which we can look at this, guys. Okay. First method I can look at this is when the price of soft drink is reduced by 40%, its sales volume increased by 20. So I can also look at it as my revenue is nothing but my total selling price. Okay. My selling price is nothing but the number of sales or the number of items sold into price per item. So we discussed earlier that if there is a percentage change happening here, and there is a percentage change happening here, that means it is separated by a multiplication sign. So if there are 2 percentages changes happening here, it comes under the purview of successive percentage change. Always remember this, guys. If I'm saying that A into B is equal to C, and there is a change happening here, and there is a change happening here, this comes under the concept of successive percentage change. Clear? So therefore, price reduced by 40%, sales increased by 20%, A plus B plus AB divided by 100. So minus 40 and plus 20 would give you minus 20, and this would give you minus 8. So therefore, your answer becomes minus 28%. That means the revenue has dropped by 28%. Is this point clear with all of us, guys? Yep, let's solve this. I'll be back in a minute. Yep, let's look at this, guys. So this question says that, one second, yeah. So this question says that price of a soft drink is increased by 30%, and the sales volume is also increased by 30%. Find the percentage change in revenue. So I repeat, revenue is equal to price into number of items, which means directly successive percentage change. This is given and this is also given. So A plus B plus AB, that's going to be 30 into 30 divided by 100. So which means there is a 69% increase in the revenue. Can you solve this question, please? Observe and answer. Is it coming at a successive percentage change? Let's see. What is the area of the rectangle, guys? The area of the rectangle is always length into width is equal to area. I am given percentage change in this. I am given percentage change in this, which means it comes under successive percentage change category. Clear? So I'm talking about successive percentage change category. The length is increased by 10. The width is increased by 30. And therefore, A plus B plus AB divided by 100. Which means your answer is going to be 43% increase. Let's move forward. An amazing question. Just observe and answer, application based. If the price of Java decreased by 25%, by what percentage should its consumption be raised so that the expenditure on it increases by 20%? So what am I looking at? I'm looking at expenditure is equal to price into consumption. Okay. Now, if I'm looking at price into consumption, I am given price reduced. So this is given to me. This is also given to me, and I'm asked the change in this, which means it is still coming under successive percentage change. So this is 25% drop. I do not know by what percentage this is increased, but overall there is a 20% increase. So can I say A, sorry, can I say A plus B plus AB by 100 is equal to 20%? So let's take minus 25 this side here. So this gives me B minus 25B by 100 is equal to 45. So I can write this as 100 by 100, okay? So if you subtract this, what do you get? You get 75B by 100 is equal to 45. 25 threes are 25 fours are, 3 ones are 3 15s. That means the value of B is going to be 15 into 4, that is 60%, which means only if the consumption is increased by 60%, this target would be attained. So this is that reverse application of this process. We're coming down to the end of the session of percentages, guys. Again, a beautiful model. Just 1 second, guys. Yeah, so we have certain questions. Let's see. Guys, whichever doubts you have, we'll discuss at the end of the session, guys. A very lovely model of percentages. Multiple answers. Let's see. A large watermelon weighs 20 kgs with 96% of its weight being water. It is allowed to stand in sun for a while and some of the water evaporates. So that now only 95% of it is water. Now try to understand what is happening is. So I have a fresh watermelon of 20 kgs here. Okay. Now in any fruit, what are the components, guys? There are only two components in a fruit. There is a pulp component and there is a water component. If I'm saying 96 percentage is water, so I'm saying that 96 percentage of 20 is water. Clear? And which means 4 percentage of 20 is pulp. Clear? Now, after being dried, let's see the dried watermelon has a total weight of d kilos. Clear? So what would I see here is, it says 95% is water, which means the water component is 95 percentage of D. And if 95% is water, that means pulp component becomes 5 percentage of D. Is this point clear with all of us, guys? Step by step approach. Now, the most important point to note here is whenever I am drying a fruit, it's only the water component that gets evaporated. Clear? If it's only the water content that gets evaporated, which means the quantity of pulp does not change. Is this point clear with all of us? I'm sure you guys are science students, so you should be able to understand in a better way. When salt water is left in the hot sun, it's only the water that gets evaporated. The salt component remains the same. Similarly, when I have a pulp and water, if I leave it in the open air, it's only the water that gets evaporated. The pulp component remains the same. Okay. So always remember your initial quantity of pulp should always be equal to final quantity of pulp, which means 4 percentage of 20 is equal to 5 percentage of D. So 100 gets cancelled, 5 ones are 5 fours are. So the total quantity of dry watermelon is 4 into 4, that is 16 kgs. Am I clear here, guys? Yep. Can we solve this question, please?
You covered into basis.
He can lose 5. Somebody says somebody can lose 2. Okay. Yep, let's see this. So Anand has won 80% of the games that he has played so far in the tournament. Okay, his goal is to win 90% of all the games that he has to play in the tournament. If he has played 15 out of 50 games that he has to play, so he has already played 15, yet to play is 35, and total number of matches are 50. His target is to win 90% of all the games. So 90% of 50 gives me how much? 45. That means he can only afford to lose is 5. In the first 15 games, he won 80% of all those games. So 80% of 15 is going to be how much, guys? 12 games. So 80% of 15, that's going to be 0, 0 gets cancelled. This is 5 3s are 5 2s are 2 1s are 2 4s. Clear? So 12 games he has won, 3 games he has not won. His total target is to win 45, which means, can I say in the next 35, the minimum number of games he has to win is 33. That means he can only afford to lose. The maximum number of games that he can afford to lose is going to be 2 games. Am I clear, guys? Yep. So last question of the day, guys, or last question of the topic, and tomorrow we'll move to profit. Tomorrow we'll move to ratios and proportions. So let's complete this part. Sure, Kranti. Thank you. Yep, let's see this, guys. Now, whenever I talk about percentage points, okay, percentage points is nothing but the gap between two percentages. Okay, so Avinash scored 360 out of 400 in an examination. And in the same exam, Anurag scored 320. That means if you observe, the percentage of marks by Anurag is 320 by 400 into 100. That is 80%. And Avinash scored 360 by 400 into 100. That is 90%. Clear? Now the question is, what is the question asking you? By what percentage is the score of Avinash more than that of Anurag? If I'm just talking about score, so Anurag has got 320 and Avinash has got 360. So Avinash is 40 more than Anurag multiplied by 100. That is equal to 12.5 percentage. All of you have given the right answer. What is the percentage point difference between these two? So 80% minus 90%, or 90% minus 80%. So 10 percentage points is the difference. Hey guys. So this completes all our concepts of percentages. I hope the students who were thinking that in the morning we need to cover more topics and all those things, the doubts have been clarified. A small feedback for this session. I do not know how was the second session, whether you liked it or not. Post lunch is generally boring. So like, great. If you guys are liking it, that's perfectly fine, because this is the worst timing that we can take a session, guys. 2 to 5 is like 2 to 4 is like very weird time. Yeah, it is, because it went a little more technical here. 508. See, last session was a lot more on logic, but afternoon session was also a bit on the technical part. Yes, you will have practice sessions now. So I guess by 5 o'clock, the practice sessions will be open. 6 o'clock, 6 to 9. Yeah, these many concepts are enough, guys. This is all the concepts of percentages. Do not worry about that. So tomorrow we'll be dealing with ratios and proportions. It should be very easy in tomorrow's class. Last question, if you want me to share. Others can leave, guys. So guys who have doubts can stay back. Last question, this is here. Others can leave. Which question? 4K3? Jawar, this one? 4K3? Yeah, so what is the doubt, Nana, here? See, there's a 25% increase. I do not know what is the percentage decrease. What is the percentage increase after 2 successive changes? Why is it 100 B by 100, Nana? It's A plus B plus AB by 100, kada? So A value enta minus 25, B value manaki teliyadu, AB enta minus 25 into B ostadi kada? Guys, when you open your logins, just a second, I'll take you through that. Can somebody, one second, guys. Can somebody kindly share your ID and password, please? Or let me use one of the logins. I guess I don't. Yeah. Okay. I got one. It's okay. It's okay. Guys, just stop typing because. Chaitanya Srinivas 01 Srinivas 01 @gmail. So after you log in here, see, it's a very simple procedure. Okay. So you go back to your SRKR module, you click here. Okay. Now on the right hand side, you see all these things available to you. Are you able to see these things here? So this is all about live classes. So minimize the live classes. Here below this, you will start getting templates called practice tests on quant, practice tests on verbal, and practice test on logical reasoning in DI. You'll have 2, 3, and 4. Similarly, 5, 6, 7 will be classroom recordings of quant, classroom recordings of VA, and classroom recordings of LR. So you'll have 7 topics here instead of only 1 live class. Is this point clear, guys? On the right hand side, you have to minimize this. So you click here, this will get minimized, guys. I hope you're able to see this. You have to click on live classes. This will get minimized. This is 01 if you observe here. So then you'll have 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, and 07. So I repeat, 3 tabs for recordings, 3 tabs for test, and 1 tab for live classes. In fact, I'll get 1 more tab for the classroom PPTs also. Clear? So you'll have a total of 8 tabs here, and that will be your self-guided process. So you will have like 25 questions and around 50 minutes per test here. Clear, guys? So anything else before we wind up? Because I have one more session at 4 o'clock. Somebody had one doubt here. Sir, it is not successive. I think no. See, successive will not be obtained if the third part is constant, Nana. But it did not say price is constant, no? Yeah, 4C7. With this one only you have a doubt in? Successive, you just apply 2. You can go by basic method also here. Two cases where you are given. See here, if you are going with multiplying factor into multiplying factor, then you can use successive percentage change. Suppose we take this question, okay? Now, what does this question say? The length is increasing by 10%. So 110 by 100 of the length. Length into width is equal to area. Okay. The width increased by 30%. So width increased by 30% is the 130% of B. So can I say this is a multiplying factor? This is also a multiplying factor, and I'm multiplying them. The access will be for 1 year, Vamsi, don't worry. So whenever you have multiplying factor into multiplying factor, that is nothing but successive percentage increase. Is this clear? 4C7.